Things are heating up in the N64 console scene. In my last video, I compared the soon-to-release M64 to the Analogue 3D, which came out last year. Well, somebody who was working on the Analogue reached out and asked about the emulator accuracy tests I ran, so they could improve their score. They also pointed out that you can install a label database to make the A3D menu look better, and you can configure the A3D just to boot directly into games like the M64 does. On the mod retro side of things, they posted about their overclock mode on Reddit, showing how their overclock settings compare to the A3D. And these are the numbers that I got when comparing A3 to M64. One thing I want to point out is that the RSP speed I measured was faster than what mod retro measured in their Reddit post. And I know why. If you run the RSP test immediately after booting the ROM, it gives baseline scores. But if you wait 10 seconds, then it actually goes into overclock mode. However, M3D still comes out on top from the RSP score. In fact, they come out on top in just about every category except CPU. One thing I love to see is both the Analogue 3D and M64 do a great job speeding up the RAM, which is awesome because that was a huge bottleneck on the original N64. So the fact that that's so much faster now is great to see. And the real metric that matters here is how do the games run? And here are a few games that I ran. They run great. I ran a few games on the highest setting for the A3D and M64. And honestly, these are both amazing consoles. There really isn't a wrong option here. Here's the intro cutscene in the first level of James Bond, and you can see it's much smoother. I'll put the A3D on as well in overclock mode so you can compare. If I play it back slowly, it becomes even clearer that there are fewer dropped frames. I plan on leveraging these overclock settings in my game to target 60 frames per second, which you can see here. On original hardware, it manages around 40 frames per second, but both the M64 and A3D can frequently hit 60 frames per second. As I continue to make optimizations, I hope to keep this fairly consistent at 30 on original hardware and 60 on these remake consoles. But what is clear is we have two companies who are both passionate about making the best N64 clone they can, which I love to see. Having both options is good for consumers, and competition is a great thing to have. If you're on the fence as to which one you should buy, the best answer I can give you is it's going to come down to your personal tastes. They're both good options, but with different visual styles. I'm more partial to how the M64 looks, and I know some people prefer the more modern look of the A3D. I should also note that A3D also released some colorful variants if that's what you want. The M64 is also slated to be a little cheaper than the A3D if that matters to you. Also, I feel like I need to mention this because then I'll be getting some comments. If you don't like Palmer Lucky and you don't want to support it, Mod Retro because of it, that'll obviously factor into your choice. Overall, I am really excited to see this market growing, and I am hoping that I can release my game into that market in a couple of years. And I really appreciate the support to make that happen on Patreon or just by liking and subscribing. I am setting my sights on doing a Kickstarter soon. If that goes well, it should really increase the scope of what I can finish as well as how quickly I can finish this game. Subscribe if you want to know when that Kickstarter drops. And as always, thank you all for watching, and until next time, take care.